Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, with our main topic today. We're discussing today women empowerment in Egypt in light of Egypt's celebration of Women's Day. And also the month of March is the month of women in Egypt and the whole world, as in the 8th of March we celebrate the International Women's Day, 16th of March we celebrate the Egyptian Women's Day, and the 21st of March we celebrate Mother's Day. So to shed more light on this and the empowerment of women in Egypt and the role of the government and the state to support women in Egypt, the pleasure to have with us a guest, Mr. Izzeddin, author and researcher in women's affairs.
Thank you so much. Good
It's
morning.
My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
It's really my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much. Well, let's start from the beginning, from choosing the 6th of March as the Egyptian Day, and as the Egyptian women have participated in the revolution of 1919, and a number of girls and women were killed during the revolution and the demonstrations that took place in Egypt in the year 1919, in the revolution, of course. And after this, in the year 1923, 16th of March also was the establishment of the Women's Union by Heba Sha'arawi. So we'd like to start from the beginning.
Yes, first of all, we are so proud, not only women, as Egyptian women, so proud to be to the Egyptian Women Day, and make us like special among the Arab women, because we're celebrating something that it talks back to history, it talks back to revolution, it talks back to empowerment of women. In women be free in the community, in the society. So it's really a pleasure, and it's really we feel like we are so proud to be Egyptian women, to be free Egyptian women. And when we get back to our history, to the revolution 1919, actually we feel that our mothers, our grandmothers, our grandmothers, they were so we can say that they were striking, they were fighting for their freedom. They as grandchildren, and now freedom too.
Yes, yes. Since the year 1919 and the establishment in the year 1923 for the Women's Union by Heba Sha'arawi, what were the gains that the Egyptian women have gained until now? A long history and more than 100 years. What, in your opinion, have the Egyptian women have gained?
Well, as Egyptian women, we have gained a lot. First of all, we have gained the quota in the parliament.
Yes, that's nowadays, but we would like to go a little bit backward in the 50s and the 60s, when the Egyptian women, the first Egyptian women participated or had a seat in the parliament. The first Egyptian woman who became a minister.
Yes, of course.
In the 50s and the 60s.
In the 50s and 60s, we were talking about education. Talking about education.
Yes.
The women back in here, they were lacked of education. They were prevented from education.
So they didn't know the rights.
Of course, yes.
Yes. Now with the education, they started, of course, long ago, 100 years ago. The women and the girls became to know more about their rights.
Yes, through education, through awareness, through proving themselves.
Yes.
So before Heba Sha'arawi and before those generations, the women were just prevented from education, and they were just housekeepers. They were just raising up children in the homes, and they did not know themselves yet.
Yes.
What are their skills? What are their rights? What are their values? So after Heba Sha'arawi, there are rights of education. So when we have women well educated, they are well aware. They know their rights.
Yes, yes, that's true. That's true. So nowadays, the Egyptian women is now participating in all the positions and the posts. The Egyptian woman is a minister. We have a large number of ministers. Of course, before we had 8 ministers in the government, and also the Egyptian woman became a judge. So tell me your insight concerning this.
Yes, it was for us really something we're so proud that women are judges, because there were some other opposing opinions that women are feeling with their emotions and women cannot do anything. So if we think that women are feeling with their emotions without logic, so we could not find successful women in the society. We could not find the ministers. We could not find around the world presidents as women. So once we found successful women, it means that women, they are not thinking with their emotions any longer, with their logic.
So not emotional, yes.
Yes,
yes.
They can be
They can be
judges.
strict, yes.
Of course, of course. And in this way, in this regard, I think that once they are not emotional while they're issuing or making the judgments, so it means that they can do more and more than this.
Yes, yes. So since President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi came to office, he gave very good attention and good care for the Egyptian women, especially the women empowerment in Egypt. So could you shed light on this, please?
Of course, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave more quota for women in the parliament, not only in the parliament actually, but also in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Yes. As we see now women as diplomats, as ambassadors, as ministers afterwards, and we see women also as leaders, as directors. So President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave values to women, and then women could make more with those values, and they know their rights. So they proved themselves in their positions, and they succeeded. So they get promoted. So the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi gave more quota, more percentages to women in the whole ministers, not only in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, but also in the whole ministers.
Yes.
In the parliament, in the ministry, and also still, I think that there are more coming reforms for women.
Yes. So how are the efforts exerted by the state and by President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi for the empowerment of women in Egypt meets the Egypt's aspiration plan for 30 sustainable development?
Well, actually, we see that there are so many conferences and so many seminars taken by women to enable them, to empower them more and more, and also as a journalist, as scientists. So we see in the sustainable development field that they are making like more developments, and all of those led by, and of course launched by the presidency and launched by the state. So in my view and in my insight, I could not find that women can do and can prove themselves without those efforts, without those enablement.
Yes, yes. And one of the efforts by President al-Sisi and the state, the initiative the presidential initiatives launched by the presidency and the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi to support women. There were several initiatives that were established and launched by the presidency.
Yes, in the regard like the project, small and medium projects that created by the president in the whole governance of Egypt. So those projects are helping women. For example, the woman who could find herself can make something at home and can make her own project. For example, cooking. For example, selling. For example, handmade projects. All of those projects are led by the president to enable more and more, and also to give the women the budget they want, their own budget. Of course, all of those projects funded by the government.
Yes, yes. So what are the laws and the articles in the law that gave the Egyptian women recently the rights?
Of course, we see every day in the Constitution there are so many laws and rules are discussed in the Parliament
Yes.
to give more projects to women and also to give more values to women. Of course, so those laws they are under in the Constitution not because Egyptian women are prevented from their rights, but because the government and the Parliament, when they are discussing such laws, they want to empower women more. In more and also in more positions. So we find so many conferences and so many seminars, summits are launched to talk about women empowerment and also to talk about women enablement, to more and more and to give her. I have read a lot and I have also seen a lot with pride how in so many talk shows and so many programs they are discussing like prominent laws, parliament under constitution added, how women now they are pioneers, they are leaders
Yes.
of projects. What are their achievements? What are their developments? And really we are so proud that we have Egyptian Women Day to remember their efforts, to remember their how they fought for to overcome so many challenges in the society, and how they at the end of the day succeeded.
Yes. So also, as we spoke about the role of the state in supporting women and women empowerment. So what is the role of the women themselves and of the society and their families in supporting women?
Well, the role of families are discussed inside homes. So if I have a family who is supporting women and supporting their girls,
Ideas, yeah, yes.
yes, from the beginning when they are raising up them. So if they did not stop a girl, for example, we find so many girls, they are so competitive and they are so brave to learn fighting sports. And we find our girls, our Egyptian girls outside, they are winning international
Yes,
prizes in the sports.
field.
Of course, so if I
All of the parents and the family, of
to
course.
encourage their girls, of course,
Yes, to
and to
encourage
encourage their children. So I
Yes.
did not stop my girl because.
So the support starts from the family
Yes,
and
of
the
course.
parents.
Yes, yes, of course. So if I find support in my family, I will prove myself outside the home, outside my home country, outside my house, because I find support. They did not stop me. In this case, actually, the encouragement comes from house, from their family first. They tend to know what are the skills, the qualifications of the girls, what are the distinguished qualifications and skills of the girls from the beginning. If they want to become sportive, if they want to, for example, to become a kung fu champion outside her country, a writer, maybe a singer, a footballer. So I need to discover and explore her skills so that I can encourage her, and the Egyptian girls can prove themselves. And we see that they are proving themselves outside.
Yes, yes. So women through history and through the past 100 years and until now also worked with supported the society and supported the state several times in several cases, and women were volunteering in all the stances that Egypt have passed through. So give us an idea about the volunteering and about the charity work that the Egyptian women have participated in, and through all the stances that Egypt have passed through.
Of course, we see, for example, in our big event, COP27, we found so many volunteers, female volunteers.
Yes.
I myself find that there are so many volunteers in all the fields without having anything coming back to them. And also in the Egyptian forum, in the youth forum, we found so many volunteers. So in the big events in Egypt, we found from the past until now, until also the future, we find so many female volunteers, and this is really give us how our Egyptian women and how our Egyptian girls are encouraged.
Even in the wars that Egypt have passed through long ago, and also the Egyptian women have participated in providing help for the soldiers in hospitals and also in the Red Crescent.
Yes, of course, it starts from the history. It starts from back to history.
Yes.
When we find that so many female nurses, even if they know how to stitch the injuries, the basics of emergency, they volunteer to help the Egyptian soldiers in the wars.
Yes.
Even before this, in so many ages before, before we can say more centuries, the female women volunteers. They are helping their men in the wars. They're helping their men in homes. They are encouraging them. So we find that women are volunteering, and they are now we can say volunteer. They are going to those big events, but before this, they had also big role.
Yes, yes. I thank you very much for your time. Thank you for coming today and for your valuable information. Of course, Mrs. Heba Izzeddin, writer and researcher in women's affairs. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Well, I thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for following me in this segment. My name is Amal Mukhtar. I leave you with the rest of the segments with my colleague Nermeen Abdurrahman.